Before launching your nonprofit organization, you want to ensure that you do your due diligence, just to make sure that you understand what a nonprofit actually is. What does the IRS require from you to become a 501c3, as well as how to find out and understand problems that actually need to be solved in your community. So in this video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step breakdown of how to do your due diligence before launching your nonprofit organization. Let's dive. What's going on, guys? My name is Timothy Wright, the founder and CEO of the Nonprofit Launcher. We are back again with another video. And in this video, we want to talk about nonprofit due diligence. So in our opinion, the first thing that you want to understand is just the difference between a nonprofit organization and a for-profit organization. Very simply, a for-profit organization is created for individuals to generate income, and then the shareholders like yourself or maybe your partner, you guys pocket the profits. So if I have a business, I have a consulting company and I'm charging $1,000 for a consulting fee, I don't have to do anything with that money. I can spend every single dollar of that money if that's what I desire, outside of obviously me paying taxes, because that's the benefit of a for-profit organization. But when you're running a nonprofit organization, it is still a business entity, just like an S Corp, a C Corp, or an LLC. But the only difference is this is a mission-driven organization and you can't pocket the profits. So you can make money as a nonprofit organization, but you have to reinvest that money back into the business to further produce the mission, even if that means paying yourself and or volunteers, board members, and or staff. So you want to understand the biggest difference between an LLC and a nonprofit very simply is what you can do with the funds. Both businesses can receive as much funds as humanly possible, but then it's a matter of how they distribute these funds that determine if it could be a nonprofit or not. So with you being a nonprofit founder, very simply, you're going to always have yourself on payroll. You're never going to just transfer money from the business's bank account into your personal account. You're going to be an employee of your organization. So if you're someone that's important enough to your organization where you need to be paid, and paying you further produces the organization's mission, then by law, you can do so. But you can't just pocket the profits because someone just gave you a $10,000 grant. That's not how a nonprofit works. Okay, now that we have a brief understanding of what a nonprofit is, the next thing that we want to do is what we call a community needs assessment. A community needs assessment, very simply, is a form with a list of questions that are going to help you gain clarity on the problems, the programs, and the services that you want to tackle and serve within your community. If you click the link in my description, you can grab our free nonprofit starter checklist and you will see the community needs assessment form is there. I'm going to highly recommend that you grab that because this is going to be a huge part of your due diligence process. So in your due diligence process, we love to focus on a format called PSP. Problem, solution, promotion, where you identify a problem in the marketplace, you come up with a viable solution for their problem, which is your programs, your services, your offers, and then we come up with multiple ways to promote our solution to this problem. PSP, problem, solution, promotion. So again, this community needs assessment form is going to really help you identify the different problems in your community. It's going to definitely require you to do some research, do some digging to discover the issues that are in your community. Who's being most affected by this? This is going to help you come up with your target market. If there are any other nonprofits out there who are already focusing on this specific task, you're going to then discover what is it that they don't provide, because this is what's going to make you unique as an organization. All these questions are in this community needs assessment form. Now, another thing that you'll discover in your due diligence process is you'll either realize that you're creating a duplicate company, which is something that's already out there, or you're creating a company that is similar to something that's already out there. But like I said before, you're going to need to discover the differences between the two. This is going to be very important because just like you've done it before, if someone creates a business that's very similar to Netflix, you're going to say, well, isn't that kind of like Netflix? Or isn't that kind of like Instagram? Like something like that is already out. So, what makes your business unique? Someone is going to ask you that exact same question. I don't want you to think that people aren't, because they definitely are. So what you want to do is prepare to answer the question before it's even asked. What makes you different from this said company? If you're going to be providing a homeless shelter, or you're going to be providing back to school clothes, what makes you different from Goodyear or whatever it may be that's already out there that's in correlation with your organization? So if you need to look into other nonprofits, you can use platforms like GuideStar, Charity Navigator, as well as the IRS database. Now, most likely you're watching this video and you already have a nonprofit concept, meaning you already have something that you think people need help with, which definitely is going to be great. So if that's the case, I want to encourage you to do 2 community needs assessment. One, doing a community needs assessment just to figure out what's most needed in your community, and then do another community needs assessment for your said idea that you already have, so you can discover if it's something that's of value or not. The due diligence of this is extremely important because if you don't do this, you'll be creating products, programs, services, and maybe even a business that you think people need, instead of discovering the truth to determine if it's something that they actually need. Very important, don't forget that. Now, you'll also want to discover what some of the requirements for your state. For example, most states require you to have at least 3 board members for you to file directly with your state, but in some cases, you don't need any board members at all. In some states, you have to be 18 or older to be a board member, and in most states, there's no age requirement. So I recommend you searching to determine how many board members you're going to need. So you're going to be the executive director or the president of the organization, and if you don't have a big network and you only have a couple of friends who can sit on your board, it could be you, your mom, and your cousin, or you, your best friend, and your sister, or you, the principal, and the teacher. Whoever you desire, you just need 2 other individuals to be on your board as an organization. Once your nonprofit is fully approved through your state and through the IRS, if you need to change it, you can do so at any time. Now, in order for you to become incorporated with your state, you have to fill out a form called your Articles of Incorporation, which is very simply a form that you're going to be filling out directly with your state. This can either be done online or you have to mail it in. It just depends on the state that you're in. So this is another form of due diligence you're going to have to do. If your state has an online application, then you can create an account with your state, with the Secretary of State, and then you'll be in a position to then file to become a nonprofit directly with your state. You want to understand that filing to become a nonprofit is a separate thing from you becoming a 501c3. You have to become a nonprofit first, then get the EIN number for the nonprofit, which is going to be your nonprofit social, if you will. And then after that's done, you can then file to become a 501c3 nonprofit organization. A 501c3 is a tax code for nonprofits. So it's important for you to understand that. You have to become a nonprofit first. Once your nonprofit is approved by your state, then your nonprofit can file to become tax exempt, which is what the 501c3 tax exemption code is. Now, before all this is done, you probably want to discover what your name of the organization is going to be. In most states, you can do a name search on before you file. So I would encourage you to go to your Secretary of State, Texas Secretary of State. You have to create an account, Virginia Secretary of State, and then you're going to be able to do a name availability search to determine if the name that you're looking for is something that is available in your state. This is something I recommend that you do before you file, so you don't waste any time of getting rejected and you have to refile because there's a name incorrection. And then from there, you want to consider what your vision, your mission, and your purpose as an organization is going to be. If you download that community needs assessment form, you'll see at the very end, I ask, based on all the information above, what is the mission of your organization? Based on all the information above, what is the vision of your organization? And then the same thing as the purpose. So right now, if you don't have any idea of what your mission is going to be, your mission statement or your vision statement or purpose statement, use that community needs assessment form to give you clarity, and it will help you uncover what the mission of your organization is. From there, if you like, you can take that mission and then put it into ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, this is the mission of my organization. We're in this state. We want to focus on this. Our purpose is this. Our vision is this. Based on the information that we provided you, provide us with a powerful yet concise mission, vision, and purpose statement that is most suitable for our organization, and let AI do the work. So now you have your name, your mission, your vision, your purpose. You understand how many board members you need, if they can be over 18 or not, depending on the state that you're in. The next thing you want to do is discover what are you actually going to be offering. And if you downloaded the community needs assessment, you should get that information from there. But you'll be able to discover what programs, services, initiatives should I be offering based on my mission, based on my vision, and based on the purpose of my organization. I'm going to recommend for you as a new founder, you should have no more than 3 to 4 programs. I'm actually going to recommend that you have 1 to 2 as you're starting, and you can make these very powerful. But if you need to expand multiple programs, I'm going to recommend you have no more than 4. Most times, most new nonprofit founders, they have a very small network, a very small community of people who want to support them already. Therefore, it's going to take this some time to develop the capacity, the mental capacity, as well as the leadership skill sets that are needed to actually build and develop a nonprofit organization. So start small. Every move that you make doesn't have to be a home run. It's just important for us to get on first base. And then for you, what I want to encourage you to discover within yourself is, why do I actually want to do this? I want to encourage you to put this on a sheet of paper. Why am I doing this? Or ask yourself out loud. Right now, you can pause this video and say, why am I doing this? And I would encourage you to really question why you're doing this. Because if you want to do this just to quit your job, I'm going to say you shouldn't do this. You should probably start an LLC, because it sounds like you just want to profit, which is okay, but start a for-profit business and make money at will. Starting a nonprofit, you can definitely make money at will, but you being paid as the founder, you're not going to get all the money. It's going to be a very small percentage. So you want to make sure you understand that. Are you really looking to serve people, or are you just looking for a grant? Are you really looking to make a difference in your community, or are you just looking for the government to give you free money? These are questions that you really want to discover with yourself, because I'm telling you that if you're coming to into the space because you heard someone can give you a free grant, more than likely you're going to quit because you're going to realize that it takes a little bit more effort than that, right? If someone told you, yeah, man, people can sponsor your business, nonprofits get help all the time, more than likely you're going to quit because you're doing it for the wrong reasons. People who do it for the right reasons, they have enough integrity in their spirit to stick it out, right? What I've realized is that when you discover your truth, it gives you vision. And you heard the saying before, where there is no vision, the people shall perish, and they perish from a lack of knowledge. So if we look at this, I said this before, there's another version of it that says, where there is no vision, the people shall cast off restraint. And if we look at the definition of restraint, very simply, it just means to stay in limits, in boundaries, right? Your ability to say no to something. So someone doesn't need to cast off restraint of eating bad if they have no vision of being fit. Does that make sense? People have no vision to cast off the restraint of spending money at will if they have no vision of being financially independent. So for you, I want to encourage you to really hone in on your reason. On your reason. There's a quote that says, your reason will get you through any season. Your reason. And the people with the strongest reason also have the strongest conviction and the strongest driving force to actually make it happen, because you convinced yourself with the reasoning, right? I want to really encourage you to do that. And then the last couple steps in the due diligence process is I'm going to encourage you to look at your finances. Actually look at your finances so you can determine how much money do I have to invest into this dream. I personally haven't found grants that give people funding to start the nonprofit. In most cases, people have to come out of pocket themselves because they believe in their vision first. And then they have the belief and the faith that they're going to receive that not only in income, but also in impact for the efforts that they're committed to. So what's going to be some of the startup costs? It may cost you anywhere from $25 to $50 to a couple $100 to start your nonprofit in your state. And then to file your 501c3 application could be anywhere from between $275 upwards to $600. You need policies and procedures that could be anywhere from a few $100s upwards to a few $1,000. Just depends on who does them for you. Creating a website could be free or it could be a few $100s depending on who you have do it for you. These are things to consider so you're not walking into the nonprofit space blind. And then number two is you're not allowing the lack of education on the financial aspect to deter you from getting started. By the way, if you haven't filed yet and you're looking for a team of people to get your organization completely filed, started, and approved for you, myself and my team, we offer a done for you service where we do everything for you, delivery time in less than 30 days. Click the link in the description and you will see more details about that. And then lastly, I would encourage you to start preparing to build your network. Preparing to build your network, whether it be a network of businesses, a network of foundations, a network of investors, or of course, just a network of friends and people who are willing to support you in anything that you are invested in. It's important for you to start working on these things now. I'm not saying wait until you have a full-blown network before you create your nonprofit, but I do want to remind you that you're going to need at least some type of network to get your nonprofit to the idea and the dream that you have. So as we wrap up here, it's important to know that no nonprofit works the best and no nonprofit works the worst. It's always the spirit of the leadership and the spirit of the team that turns something into a reality. Everything works if you work. You've seen two people have a YouTube channel. One of them has a lot of success. One person doesn't. You've seen two people play basketball. One person is getting $100 million a year. The other person is a free agent and not getting drafted by anyone. So it's not just about the doing, but it's about who's doing the do. So as you get ready to launch this organization, I want to encourage you to continue to work on yourself because your life can get better as you get better. I say this in all my videos. I'm going to continue to say it, that results come from you and then to you. Results come from you, who you are, how you think. Results come from that and then to you from that. So if you have a problem with what you're getting, you have to question what you're giving. Your life can get better because you can get better. There's more for you because there's more in you. So look guys, I hope this video has been informative. If you haven't seen it already, I'm gonna encourage you to go watch the video of how to start a nonprofit in 2024. Watch the video in full, in depth. This is one of the most in-depth videos that you're gonna find on YouTube on how to start, operate, and scale your nonprofit organization. Again, if you're looking for a team of people to get this done for you, the link is in the description. If you need any of the resources that I mentioned in this video, make sure you check out our Nonprofit Launcher Stand store, as well as our website on www.thenonprofitlauncher.org. We make this content to support you. Hopefully you find it valuable. We'll see you again soon. I'm signing off. Peace.